Hello everybody and welcome back to Eureka Farms. It is a new day, new morning. Hot off the back of the contract on field 12 being completed and us having a little bit of cash, which is very nice. There's a couple of things we're going to do today. We still have the ploughing contract on field 13. And we also have the sowing contract to start on field 1. So, with that being said, let's head over to our lovely little man. Let's get him restarted. He can carry on doing what he's doing. Our challenger. He's doing a fantastic job of ploughing this field. He really is. Yeah. Nearly got it all done, look. Nearly got it. He's halfway. Right. We have got 458,000 bucks in the bank account. We could be buying some equipment. We could. I'm just thinking we would be most beneficial to have a silo of some sort, wouldn't we? Just so we got somewhere to store crops and stuff. We've got the AJ Tech Mercury Farm silos, which hold 500,000 litres of different crops. And things. Could put one of them down. Two-bin bulk silo from, obviously, Mr. Stevie. His 4-bin silo system. I mean, 250 grand for a 4-bin silo, which will hold 16 million litres of crops and stuff. That would be nice to have. But is it worth 250,000 at this moment in time? When I am already owing 230, which, by the way, I'm going to repay some of. We'll take it down to 150 grand. How's about that? I tell you what, we're not going to go madly buying stuff at this point in time. What we're going to do, actually, I'm going to park this in the shed first of all. I did spend a little bit of time last night in real life playing around with this autonomous tractor with the XML and stuff to see if I could fix some of the little issues I have with it. Like the fact it doesn't use electric for its fuel. It uses diesel like a regular tractor, even though when you hop into it, it says John Deere Electric. Or it should say John Deere Electric. It's missing the C. There's a spelling mistake there. I also tried to fix the issue with it not having GPS by comparing it to the comparing the XML file to the case autonomous, which does have GPS, and unfortunately I can't really see a difference. It seems to have all the same stuff, so I am a little bit sort of confused by that. Right, as to why it's not really working properly. Which is a shame, because it's a nice little tractor, as we've said. Right, we do need to change that to sunflowers. So we are going to go and do field 1. which is not actually at the bottom of the map. It's actually the one over here in the top left corner of the map. I also haven't forgot that I do need to buy me header for me combine. That's something we will probably do in a few moments as well. We'll get that ordered, and then before I go spending any more cash, I'm also going to be decorating a little bit more around the house at some point in this series. We've got some lovely little mods which could be very useful, could be worthwhile having placed on the map. So, sunflowers feeded. Now, another thing as well, probably need to mention, is that although I managed to complete my sunflower harvesting contract in the last episode, there are some people still reporting on the Giants forums that they're having issues with contracts not completing since the precision farming update has released. They're still getting stuck at sort of 99% contract complete, and it seems to be happening to console players. I don't know whether that's just there's an issue with the mod on the consoles, or whether there is an issue still with precision farming and certain maps. Perhaps my contract completed on this map because of the sheer ginormity of the fields and the custom yield values that this map has. Maybe, you know, not an accurate test. Perhaps, you know, to test precision farming and check whether harvesting contracts work correctly, probably should have started on a map like Giants Ravenport or Fellsbrunt and done a harvest contract on there to see if it completes properly. And that's something I could maybe do. I mean, the true test will be, obviously, I've put the update on the multiplayer server, so we're quickly going to discover if it works on, say, Chellington Valley very soon, because we'll be playing on the multiplayer server. The question I have now, of course, from some people, based on everything that's happened in the FS community in the last 24 hours, is will I be keeping Chellington Valley on my multiplayer server? The answer to that is, quite simply, I do not know. I'm a little bit, I won't say, I'm a little bit off-put by the fact that the map has errors out of the gate, out of the box, which is making playing that map a little bit difficult and a little bit annoying. The fact that there isn't going to be a mod hub update for the map because Oxygen David is done with Giants and the mod hub means I do not know when there's likely to be an update, or how I would get the update for the map if and when it does release. So I am thinking maybe of cutting the Chellington Valley map from the server and putting something else on. One suggestion I had from someone in my Discord was to go with Hofbergman on the server, which is a map I've looked at in the past and thought, yeah, because it's obviously a map that offers quite a few different things to players, and things that players can do. However, there's a couple of things that put me off Hofbergman. There's a lot of fiddly stuff on the map. A lot of handwork where you're having to hand load and hand pick and move items and objects and stuff, which is something I don't really want to get involved in. The player who suggested I play Hofbergman also made the suggestion that we don't use mods like auto load, precision farming, course play, stuff like that, and I was like, do I really want to play a game without auto load, knowing how bad the physics are in this Giants farming sim series? Especially on a map that requires you to load and transport lots of various different items and objects. Probably not. I would probably want to have auto load available for the players, just for sanity's sake, on a map like Hofbergman. Also, I know you can make, like I say, like the person said, it'd be fun for all the players to, you know, make bread and cheese and all these different things that you can make on the map and sell. I personally wouldn't be interested in doing that if I was playing on the multiplayer server. I would be focusing more on what I'm doing now, which is obviously working fields rather than doing all the fiddly little production stuff. It's not so bad when it's not so bad when you've got like the big factory type production stuff where you take a trailer load of stuff, tip it in, and then a couple of days later you get a product out the other side that you can go pick up and take and sell. I enjoy that aspect of the game. I've enjoyed that. We did it on Snetterton's. We had all the placeable factories on Snetterton's. I've used the global company stuff on a lot of saves in Let's Plays, producing my own seeds, fertilizers, things like that. So yeah, I don't mind that stuff, but again, I like that stuff where I'm able to do it with my machinery. I'm able to take the material that's used by the factory, I'm able to put it in a trailer, take it to the factory, tip it and drive away. When I've got to handball stuff and move stuff using buckets and boxes by hand, that doesn't to me seem to be much. That sounds to me like hard work. That doesn't sound like fun. That actually sounds like real work, and the whole point of a video game is it's supposed to be not real work. It's supposed to be a break and a separation from real work. That's why I don't tend to play mega realistic in my farm sim experience. I don't play ultra hardcore and stuff, because at the end of the day, it's a game and I want it to be fun. I don't want to make it stressful and unpleasant, otherwise I'm not going to enjoy it, and if I'm not enjoying it, why am I playing it? So yes, I'm open to putting Hofbergman on my multiplayer server. No, I'm not open to removing auto load, and no, I'm not open to me getting involved in all the little fiddly production stuff. Sorry, that's just the way it goes. I will just drive me tractors and combines and trucks and stuff like I do now in the game. If other players on the server want to go into all that fiddly production stuff, they're welcome to do it. It's their time. I don't dictate how people play on the server. People are free to do what they want when they log in. That's actually what I kind of prefer from the multiplayer server. I prefer players just to log in and get on with what they want to do. I don't like it when players asking me every few minutes what to do, or what needs doing, because I'm like, you've played the game. You know how like the map works. You can look on the map and see what needs to be done. You can look at all the fields and see what needs to be done. You can, you know, you can look at the contract screen and see what's available. You don't need me to tell you. You can kind of figure it out yourself. No? I've noticed that's a problem with a lot of younger players. When you have young people on servers, young people tend to be the ones that are like, what do I do next? What should I do now? It's like children in real life, really. They're a lot like that. Whereas the slightly more mature player, the more mature gamer, they get on with stuff. They, you know, they get on and they do stuff, and very seldom do I have to interfere or get involved with them on the server. Normally, the only time they'll bother me is if they've got a problem. Like, you know, the other evening we was playing on the map and Mr. Helgi had a slight issue where he got a tractor and a slurry tanker stuck on a fence after being shoved by a AI car that was driving around the map. One of the traffic vehicles hit him, and he ended up sort of beached on a fence with a full slurry tanker, which he didn't want to reset because obviously it would have lost the slurry, which is very expensive to buy. Because at this moment in time we don't have animals, we're not producing our own slurry, so we are buying it when we come to slurry spread the fields. We have used digestate when we've had it available from the BGA. However, again, one issue with Chellington Valley I do not like and would like to see updated is the fact that the BGA has a ridiculously small capacity and it has a very long processing time, which means we're really struggling to keep it filled up and filling it up with hay and silage and grass and stuff like that, and it's taking a long time to process, which means the digestate output is really slow. So when we're trying to do the slurry spreading of the fields with precision farming, obviously before we seed them, it's proving a bit of a challenge because we're not able to get enough digestate. So we're using digestate when it's available, but then we're having to drop, once we've run out of digestate, we are having to drop back and purchase slurry to spread the field, cover the field. We do have a manure spreader as well. So I have been doing some manure spreading. I've been doing manure spreading. I don't think the other players have been doing manure spreading. I don't think maybe some of the players realise you can empty the lime from the lime spreader and you can put manure and fertiliser in it. I also have a sneaky suspicion that most players are tending to grab the slurry spreader to do fertilising because it's bigger and wider than the manure spreader. And again, players like to do things fast. They don't like to take, you know, a long time doing a job. They want jobs to be completed as quickly as possible. So they're going to grab the biggest and fastest equipment they can to do the job, which in the case of fertilising fields post-harvest pre-seeding, they're going to grab the slurry spreader because it's bigger. It's got a wider spreading width than the manure spreader. Although I think technically the manure spreader holds more manure than the slurry spreader, therefore it doesn't run out as fast, which means you don't have to refill as many times, which is one of the things. I noticed the slurry guys are having to make lots of trips to the refill or the buy point. But that's the thing. We're going to get this done. What I want to see, if I hire the work Oh, our money's going down. Is that because I've got buy seed on? Yeah. Can I turn off fertilizer? Yes. Was he 30? He might have been. That seems weird to me. That the worker was buying fertilizer in a machine that doesn't have fertilizer. It's a bit of an oversight. That's kind of that kind of opens up things, doesn't it? You could buy a seeder which doesn't have fertilizer, like I've got, and yet if you wanted to cheekily, sneakily do a field with fertilizer, just get a worker to seed it, and he'll buy fertilizer, and he will fertilize. He'll pull fertilizer out of his ass and put on the field as he's seeding. That's a bit weird. Very weird. Right, let's go and have a look at. Right, matey with the plough still going. Right, let's have a quick look at the store then. Combine header. For doing our our normal corn and barley and stuff. Probably going to get a Terraflex. There's no doubt about it. The Draper's definitely the header of choice. As far as headers go, that's the only one I've really got available. I'm not going to buy one of the ridiculously fast ones, the 20km/h ones. Normally I change those. Normally those high speed ones, versions of Stevie's, I actually change those. I actually normally go in, I make these ones, which are 10km, I drop them down actually, make those 8. I then make them a bit cheaper. I usually make them probably about, 65 grand, 60 grand. And then I usually put these ones down to about 12km/h and obviously keep the price. So it gives players options. When they're first starting out and money's tight, they can grab a Draper header. Okay, it's a little bit slow, but it gets the job done. It's a little bit slow, but it gets the job done. And another thing I'm going to buy, whilst I remember, do it, is get my... is get my thunder. Okay, so he's actually turned round and the AI worker's doing a decent job. Fair enough. We'll leave him to do that then. Right, I'm going to head to the store with our little tractor here. I'm going to grab thunder. The first thing we're going to do is repair that header. That the workshop functionality is working correctly. I'm trying to remember which side of the machine this needs to be on. For repairing, it seems like it's on the right hand side, which means when you're refueling, the fuel needs to be on the vehicles need to be on the left of thunder for refueling. And speaking of refueling, obviously we will need to go and fill Thunder up. Let's go get Thunder some fuel. And then he's ready to use in the future. I can then grab the harvester and we can come make a start on field 8. Like I say, the plan for field 8 will be, again, based on lack of user comments on the videos regarding crops planting and things like that. The crop on field 8, I'm going to change field 8 and make it a grass field. Full dedicated grass field. Because we need some grass to mow on this map to produce hay and stuff for animals. So we need to get on with that. Mr. Challenger's doing a grand job with the ploughing for the contract. He's rocketing along. Right, I need to... We do need to repair the harvester. The harvester's unfortunately a little bit badly faring after its mammoth harvest task. And yes, I'm well aware there is still that corn down there to hoover up. I may actually grab myself a piece of that new Grimmy DLC. I wondered why my money was rapidly plummeting, and it's because I'm buying fuel. I was like, where's all my money going? Because the fuel trailer's filling up. So once that's stopped refueling and Thunder is fully repaired. Yeah, there we go. 1,409. That's vehicle running costs. So we're still fueling. Thunder holds, I think, about 5,000 litres, so it might take him a while to fill up from that fuel station. Fuel stations aren't known for being fast fillers on maps, typically. Tell you what, I didn't notice the lack of space between the header and the chopping board on this harvester. That's a bit of a concern. You don't want to make too tight a turn with it then, would be my main guess. Line up with the header correctly. Yes, there we go. We want to fold the header, then want to... There we go. I want to get my header open. It's remembering which buttons are used for such a thing, because I've remapped some of the controls because there are a lot of overlaps. Certainly when you've got a harvester like this, where the modders added like opening doors and stuff, it's a little bit annoying for me when I'm trying to open and close the combine header, or I'm trying to adjust the pipe on the combine and doors are opening. Don't like to see that. I also now need to figure out what the button is for the nozzles. I need to also put my straw swath on. Angle that down for a start, because that's moved while I've been pressing buttons. And if I don't move that, my harvester will not empty into the trailers unless the nozzle is pointing completely down. Anyway, get 2 more contracts, get those 2 contracts completed. That'll, like I say, earn us a nice bit of money. If I get this field harvested, get the wheat sold, get the straw baled and sold, it's not looking too bad. And then obviously get the field soil sampled following that, and I think we'll be doing okay. Be in a good position, and we'll hopefully have enough money that I can buy a fertilizer sprayer, which would be nice to have, and then we can obviously spray fields once they're seeded, which we haven't done with the oats over there on field 7, but then the oats on field 7 are telling me that they're perfectly fine and happy. Spent $250 on wages. That must be for the guy doing the seeding. It won't be for Mr. Courseplay. I'm going to go along the top of the field. I know I'm 62% full. I'm going to try and keep the pipe out of the fruit. I can grab a trailer when I've got a tractor available. Unless I grab the... well, no, because the... if I remember rightly, the little electric tractor that I've got is very poor for pulling the trailers because it's so small. It just looks wrong. Although it can pull the trailer, it just looks wrong because it's so small. Trailers dwarf it. I think the plan will be, let's take Thunder back to the shop and then at a farm, and then let's switch over. That's a slightly easier way, I must admit. 86% full. What I would do, inclined to do at this point is, I'm still happy. Right, let's drive this guy back. We'll drop Thunder off, we'll grab a trailer, we'll go and unload the harvester. Things are progressing nicely. Thunder gonna live about here, I think. Park him. Let's try. I want to park him in a position whereby A, I can get to both the refuel and the repair. So yeah, he can sit right there for now, and then vehicles can get to both sides when they, if they need to refuel or if they need to be repaired. Ideally, we wouldn't just be using him for regular old refueling. You know, It's more of a case like when we was doing the harvest contract where the harvester and the tractor did need to be refueled and they're in the field. So that'll be more of a case of we'll take Thunder and we can refuel the equipment in the field. We can literally run them till they run out of fuel and take Thunder over and fill them up. Probably also going to get rid of this ground decoration stuff. Obviously that is where the animal pens would be if I'd started in new farmer mode. It's just a little bit annoying to see it there in farm manager mode. Guessing the default animal pens don't put the textures down, so they have to be kind of painted into the map underneath where the animal pens will go. I'm hoping when I place animal pens, because I'm going to use some modded ones, obviously, because I don't have vanilla ones available, they will put their own decorations down under themselves. Yeah, harvest is going well. I don't know whether to grab the little electric. Yeah. Have I remembered to switch the straw swather back on? I haven't. Now I can switch it back on. So yeah, that's one way. That's one way I don't drop big dumps of straw and big heaps of straw or stuff at the end of a field, at the end of a row. Before I get to the end of the row, I just flick the straw swather off and I put it on blowing, and then I can turn around without dropping straw off the field, and I don't have to worry about having any great big piles of straw that the baler or loading wagon or whatever is going to have massive issues dealing with. Because the one thing, when you are using a big combine header, your swath does tend to get a little bit bigger. Not gonna lie, your swath does tend to get a little bit bigger. Another thing I need to do is I need to update today my Alpine DLC, because obviously I have the version from Giants rather than Steam. I need to update that. I have downloaded the new version of the Alpine DLC. I just need to install it, activate it with my license key, and good to go. I don't know what they've changed in the Alpine DLC. Probably stuff more to do with the map than I would think any of the vehicles and equipment, but hey, it's better to be safe than sorry. It's best to use the latest DLC where you can. Again, put the blower on. The good thing about this is I will now be able to keep everything contained within the field. Helpers completed their task. That must be, I'm guessing, the Cedar Man. There's no way the plough is finished yet. No, it's definitely Mr. Cedar. What we can do, we can go pick him up actually and bring him back to the farm. Ready to do in my lovely nice wonky wobbly line because I didn't bother using GPS. Right, you can see he has missed bits of this field. If we go look at the seeding plan, yeah, he's definitely missed bits here and there. That's Giant's AI for you, being rubbish. If I hit the complete button, ta-da! The AI farmer always magically goes and replants it anyway, so doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I've missed bits, because the AI is going to redo the field anyway, straight after. So, yeah. Let him get on with it. But we got paid, we earned some money. Very nice. Get a little bit more money when the ploughing contract comes in, which will be, again, very nice. And obviously we're going to make some nice money when we sell all our wheat in a few minutes. Once the harvest is completed, and then obviously once we've got the straw done as well. Got that transported somewhere and shipped off somewhere. But wage payment. So the guy doing the seeding actually cost me quite a lot of money. I just driven all the way down to the bottom of the map, missed that, my actual farm. Yes. Drove too far. Drove too far. Amazingly, still at 73% seed capacity on this big mammoth monster seeder, so we're not using a lot of seed. Across the road here and drive on this field over here. Oh, nice that matey's already managed to get his field cultivated, which had the sunflowers on. Very impressive. Managed to do that without me ever seeing a vehicle anywhere near that field. Is that right? Is he really, you're going to tell me he's cultivated that? Apparently it still says harvested. That, to me, is the... Well, that's the cleanest looking harvested field I think I've ever seen. There's all the sunflower stuff. Residue that the harvester put out. I don't see that. Right, bring our plant, our sowing machine back. Park her up somewhere. Let's get the tractor for a minute. Now he's still ploughing. It'll be taking a little bit longer to finish that. I will now carry on with the wheat harvest. So at this point in time, folks, we have reached the end of the episode. So thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I will see you all again very soon for the next one. For now, though, from me, CWATTY, here on Eureka Farms, it's goodbye.